Lounge for sale.
Lounge
for sale.
lounge.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Oh no.
What we have here is a little bit of chaos. I'm friends with one of the producers, Nadine Rajabi. I became friends with her early on because I just wanted to say, hey, you did a great job with the show. Way back in 2013 is when it first aired, and I just wanted to say, it's cool. It's a cool show. It'll never stay on. Good shows never last. But this one did. This one hung on.
So far, so good. Yeah, it's just keeps going, and it gives me a chance to watch episodes. So after all those years, because I wasn't really familiar with the show until about 2017, I'd say.
I got him hooked.
Yep.
I showed quite a few friends this show, and I had about a 20% rate of people who are actually entertained by it. A lot of people play it off like it's some kind of reality show. Well, it is a reality show, but it's not scripted as much as the other ones. I had the opportunity to meet some cast members when I was on vacation in Fort Lauderdale, and I grilled Ben Robinson real hard on that. I said, hey man, what's going on? Is it real? Is it scripted? And he says that it's real, but there are some suggestions that take place. And there are some more secrets that I won't reveal. That's obvious. People pretty much got that, But the show is about 90% real. And I don't tune in exactly for the drama, but I tune in because the places that they go to are absolutely phenomenal. But right now they're in France on the Mediterranean. Sometimes they sneak up and they're near Italy. The most beautiful city is in Greece. So they're coming up on that now. It looks like they might be heading towards Greece, but they've had a couple charters, and it looks like it's a pretty interesting show so far.
Yeah, so far so good. And makes when I watch these people on the boat and they watch them prepare, like so much work gets put in each episode when they're about to have like a party on the yacht. I just think about like kind of being in the shoes of like a passenger on the boat, and just it makes me, when I watch these episodes, it makes me want to like, man, I really want to get on that boat and have a great time just like everyone else.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's just it always looks like it's a blast.
Yeah. So we have it playing right here in front of us here, so we're able to give you a line by line recap. So we have Zhao and we have Hannah, who used to hate each other, and this season they like each other. They're cool. They're cohesive. They're working together. Everything's cool, and nothing brings people together like a common hatred. So everyone agrees that this girl Mila is ruining the guests' dinner, and some of the and it's kind of putting their tip in jeopardy here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm still learning to get to know the cast. I never really know like who said what, who's honest and who's not. So I'm still trying to keep up with and kind of just watch these conversations and just see what happens. So I'm still learning each episode.
Yeah. So we're in Antibes, France. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And in this particular scene here, now I'd like to show you guys it, but we don't have rights to the show. So if you check back on the episode, you'll be able to see it. And for most of you guys are following it anyway. So check it out. So one thing is for sure, these people work hard and they play even harder.
Yep.
They have, after they work 18 to 20 hour shifts a day, sometimes the captain lets them go off. We had Captain Lee let them go hang out together. In this situation, it's Captain Sandy, and I don't think she's ever restricted the crew, but there's been a few moments where Captain Lee's been like, you all don't get to go out. You were bad. You didn't work as hard as you could have. Therefore, no playing at the nightclubs.
Yeah, I've actually, with Captain Sandy, I've actually have, with some of my podcast subscriptions I listen to at work, she actually has appeared as a guest on some episodes, and she was kind of talking about her backstory before being on the show, and how she almost had some, I guess, near-death experiences out in the waters. I can't remember the story off my hand, so you'd have to probably look up her story, but she's gone through a lot to reach this point with her life, and she's definitely, I can kind of tell that she's very honest and means business all the time.
Oh, yeah.
She takes everything very seriously.
I think
is full of passion.
Yeah. Captain Sandy, I think she does a great job. And at first she came off a little bit easygoing, and she was talking about the naps, and she's talking about, I love the toys, I love the banana, you gotta go and play in the toys, and if anyone wants to nap, they can go take a nap anytime. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, well, that doesn't seem very captain-like.
Yeah.
But
yeah, she really grew into her role, which is good to see.
Oh, yeah. Anastasia is the third stew, and if you look at the one of the main covers for Below Deck, she's in a chef uniform, and that just kind of lets you know that some changes take place. For those of you who didn't watch last Monday, she was fired, and it was crazy because she's a third stew. Like she says in the episode, she's supposed to be cleaning bedrooms and taking orders. She's not supposed to have the galley all to herself. That's reserved for somebody who's been to chef training, has experience, but they're going to give her a try, and I won't ruin it yet. Let's watch it. We're on the beginning of episode 3 now. I just wanted to cue it up so that we can catch up to it here. Give you a good recap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now on the screen I see Mila is the chef. I see a random disco ball in the box there.
Random disco ball, where is that?
It was on the counter.
Oh, it is? Okay.
They cut away.
Yeah.
Each time I point on how you look, it gets cut away so you don't see it.
There was just no big deal, but Alec Baldwin was on the ship as a guest, and every time Ryan saw him, he'd get my attention. He'd be like, yo, Lawrence, check that out. And I'd look, and just as I looked, it would flash to the next thing. So the editing is really quick on this. It's super quick.
Yeah, you still yet have to see Alec Baldwin, and maybe hopefully you'll catch him this time, but it'll probably still not happen in some way.
Yeah. So we have Dr. Jennifer Berman on right now, and she's on for the second time. The first time she was absolutely hilarious with Captain Sandy. She is the vaginal rejuvenist. So she helps. It's self-explanatory. I think you got it. But and also she's big on the sex toys. So I won't get into that too much. But that's Captain Sandy's friend.
Yeah, that's probably stuff you probably should see the episode for, because I don't know if we want to spoil everything that happens.
You got to see it. I would recommend checking out the episode.
Yep.
So I've come to grow on liking Hannah, because it seemed like she was really abrasive before, and it seemed like when people messed with her a little bit, she sunk her fangs in, and she's a little bit like Kate Chastain. But I think that now that we're seeing her kind of level off as a chief stew and kind of figure out how people are and see how people react to how she is, I think she shows us all that she's come a long way, and she's a good boss, I would say. She's good to these girls, Anastasia and Aisha. How do you say that word, Aisha?
I would guess that, or Aisha,
or I think it's Aisha.
Yeah, I mean, this is my first time seeing her, so I would guess that.
One of the things that came on the first couple episodes was homophobic comments from Mila, and Travis was having none of it. Travis is like, hey, I've got friends that are gay, and you can't trash them. You shouldn't trash them. Why would you trash the people? It's how they're born. So, also, who else can we talk about here? Colin makes a return. The rapper Colin, he seems out of his element this season a little bit, but for the most part, the New Yorker, Colin, he's doing his thing. I can't see him in yachting too much more. It doesn't seem like he's super interested in it. It just seems like something he's he's done for a few seasons, maybe to escape the stressful life in New York City.
Yeah, Jack. He looks like a surfer. He looks like he's from California.
Jack is like a surfer dude.
It's the hair and the beard.
The hair does it every time. He's got like
more like a fuzz of a facial hair, but yeah,
kind of like a Matthew McConaughey.
A little bit. I try to think of celebrities who have facial hair like that, and I keep thinking of Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper, he used to.
So then I have to just not focus on actors and try to think of, like, I don't know, athletes, I guess, and I then switch to Chris Bryant from the Cubs.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of what I'm going for too myself.
Chris Bryant, yeah.
Yeah, I try to go for that. But yeah, Jack is kind of in the same boat there, but he has that California surfer hair.
I think on the next episode I'm going to get into, it was Aisha who was talking about the poo pushing, which I was like, hey man, that was better left unsaid.
Yeah.
You think so?
I've heard enough of stuff. I've heard enough of that coming out of girls back in my college co-ed frat days, and it's like, come on, I don't want to.
Sorority girls, yeah.
Yeah, it is what it is, though.
Sure.
Sometimes you just have to try to forget about it, but it can be a challenge.
Yep. So what else can we talk about? Anastasia talks about how her mother was a baker, and she picked up all her cooking skills from her mom. And it's not that hard. For a lot of people, cooking just comes naturally. You put this here, you put that here. I know for a fact Ryan's made some amazing dishes.
Yep.
So we've had some good stuff together.
Watching this show makes me inspired to really get into cooking, the next morning or so. Like, I just get excited about it. Even on those days when I have those long work days and I'm kind of low on energy, especially by the end of the week, usually I'm kind of in the mood to just quickly just fix up food really quick and just focus on cleaning or try to squeeze it in while I've got weekend plans, visiting friends and family. So I try to, I'm not always in the mood to really discover and learn something new to make, but this show kind of helps me really get inspired to put together a really good recipe the next day.
It does. My two favorite chefs from Below Deck are definitely going to be Ben Robinson. Well, first for Ben Robinson, he put together some amazing things. He was in a pinch a few times, under enormous pressure. One of the first things that drew me in about this show was the first season with Ben, how he was giving instruction on how to make some things that you usually don't see, some really, really ornate dishes. I thought that was really cool. Mm-hmm. And also, they were giving facts about the boat. The boat can be completely self-sufficient. When it's out there, it can take seawater and turn it into drinkable, potable water.
Yeah, I'm starting to hear about that type of technology more often, which is great to hear that it'll. Then you don't have to worry about supplying enough water on the boat, and hopefully you don't go through all the ice mountain water bottles or something like that. You can find other ways to have stuff like that for people and not worry about shortages.
Yeah. Yep. So who else have we talked about here? We have, Travis. I just said that he was not going to have that kind of discussion from Mila. So pretty much we got everybody here. Captain Sandy's so cool. I'm really impressed. She escaped those pirates. I thought that was really cool.
I see the passengers are getting on the boat, so I'll have to point out Alec Baldwin for you.
Yeah, I rewound it a little bit, so we're about halfway on episode 3 here. So look at, what do you notice here about the fixtures, the handles? They're gold fixtures, and
yeah, looks great.
Yeah.
As long as the waves are not rough, I can enjoy that more likely the calmer the water.
Do you get seasick easy?
I just find it disorienting when it's even on an airplane too. When I'm going to the bathroom.
Wow.
Or even when I'm on a, I guess in Chicago we have a Metro train or Amtrak train.
Oh, really? That too. Yeah.
Even as long as I prefer things to be smooth in environments like that. That's just me though. But I'm pretty sure others don't get annoyed by it as much as me. But yeah, when I'm in a boat, I want to be able to do things like that very smoothly.
That's
just
cool.
Enjoy the little things.
Yep.
I'm probably not making sense, but I'm just
that's
throwing
cool.
words out there.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. So The new guests have arrived. Alec Baldwin and his ladies, like Charlie's Angels, are on board right now. So that's pretty cool. Chef Mila is on her 4th strike right now. That's 4. And Captain Sandy doesn't get to see everything that's occurring. One of the major things that kept Mila on board is that the first charter guest for the season didn't tell Captain Sandy they were uninterested in the food or displeased in any way at all. And the guy even had a breakdown and he cried and he said, "This was so good.
There it is.
You made this so good for me."
They cut away again, but Alec Baldwin
Baldwin?
he's got a white tank top on.
Okay.
And he's sitting at the dining table underneath the umbrella.
Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Meanwhile, all of his food looks good just even out of the can. I canned tuna.
Really?
I eat canned seafood all the time. It's like a quick meal after work, after a long day.
You know what's good is if you take a can of tuna and you put hot sauce in it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my! Have you done that?
I actually do, but I also like to put it in a bowl of like rice and beans and sometimes lentils too, and hot sauce on top of all that.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's like a quick meal after when I get home after a long day, and usually like jardinera peppers in there too, or some sort of, or if I have fresh peppers, I chop them up and throw them in there.
Yeah.
And stuff like that's amazing.
Sure.
But my favorite canned seafood is smoked herring from Trader Joe's.
Is it good?
It's incredible.
I just know that when people start on herring, people get really addicted to it. Apparently, it's a good fish. I've smelled it and I've been like, okay, I'll take the tuna.
I love it.
I know I love tuna, but
I like it all. Alec Baldwin should be on there very soon.
I have to see this because I haven't seen this Alec Baldwin looking guy. Is that his forehead?
He's got a white tank top on. He's to the right of the table.
Okay.
So the food looks good.
So that bike-looking thing apparently can go 14 miles per hour. If you guys tune into the episode, you guys can see that they're on this device. It looks like a bike, but it's sort of like a boat. Once you start pedaling, it moves on top of the water like a bike. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
So I'm going to turn the AC off here.
There he is again while you walked away.
No way! Alec Baldwin keeps showing up on the TV. I don't know what's going on. Isn't that impressive, yeah? What's it called? The Sirocco? Sirocco, yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And he's not on camera yet.
When I took a little cruise to St. Martin, and they had a blue ship. I didn't check what the name was, but it was really similar to this little yacht here.
Yep.
I just wish I knew. I'd recommend if you guys ever have a chance to travel the islands, St. Martin, beautiful, little bit overpopulated on some areas, but if you get off the beaten path a little bit, check out SXM Airport, where the airplanes land right on your head pretty much. It sounds bad, but if you're keeping an eye out, it's really cool, and you can watch the airplanes of St. Martin take off and land really close, and you can feel the wind hitting you from the jet, and it's a once in a lifetime experience. I was able to go out and do that. That was incredible. I didn't think I'd ever do that, but the opportunity came up. I'm always looking for new opportunities. It came up. I was like, boom, let's do it. And me and my best friend just went and checked out St. Martin.
Yep. So once again, it looked like Mila's food got rejected again.
Oh no! Captain Sandy is trying to hold it down, and she's starting to realize that she's going to have to hire a new chef, or she realized that on someone else's resume it said that she had chef experience on another yacht. So Anastasia is another option here.
Hopefully by saying that her food got rejected, I'm hoping people had seen the episode already before I said that.
No, it's a constant. Like every time Mila has ever prepared a meal, it has been rejected in the I should say been rejected by Hannah, because she sees it and she's like, "What is it? Why would you make tacos?" The first charter guests did not have a problem. They got really lucky that the people were easy peasy and didn't have a complaint. They must have got like
They're
50% off or something.
They cut away again.
Alec Baldwin?
Yeah.
So they're showing all the toys here. They got jet skis. They got some kind of bike flotation thing. The thing I'd like to try that submarine thing where you hold on to the submarine and you go, and it takes you underwater. I guess you have to hold your breath.
I keep looking at the food.
Yeah.
Like the grilled cheese looks amazing. It's like one of the first things I learned to make when not by my parents, but on my own.
You got the bread, and you butter the bread, and then you put the cheese on, right?
Yep. Sometimes there's a little bit more to it, but
yeah.
Sometimes a little bit of I can't remember if it's butter or garlic. I can't remember what else we put in grilled cheese here and there.
That's a great idea. I never thought about putting garlic on a grilled cheese. That's a great idea.
I gotta try it. Yeah, me too. Usually, if you have like garlic bread with cheese, that's something I want to try. I've been in a Swiss phase lately right now.
Yeah.
Swiss cheese is amazing. I've bought aged Swiss too, but I can't really tell the difference in taste, but it's all good to me.
Yeah. So Zhao is out with the vaginal rejuvenist, and he's out.
Alec Baldwin.
That was Alec Baldwin.
That's him.
Alec Baldwin was a guest, or his doppelganger.
Or Stephen Baldwin, or somebody related to him.
Yeah. So they were out playing in the water toys, and then they show Anastasia vacuuming in the room there. Sorry, I'm being so detailed. I'm waiting for something interesting to happen here.
Mm-hmm. We're trying our best while the TV is on mute.
Yeah. So one of the things I didn't understand is why Captain Sandy made them move the vessel because it was too windy. I think that was a little over the top. That wasn't necessary. So they had to put the slide out, which is really hard. It takes a lot of manpower. It takes 2 or 3 guys. All that, and then inflate it, get all the toys ready, attached to the back, and then Captain Sandy said, "Oh my, this is really bad. The wind is picking up. It's pretty crazy. I think, why don't we have them deflate the slide and then move to another spot?"
Mm-hmm.
And then, who was it? I think it was Zhao or Jack or somebody. Somebody was like, "Oh my God, why is she making us do this? We just got everything set up. What is happening here?" So they reluctantly did it, and I was thinking the whole time, man, what a pain. I would not like that. But Captain Sandy is making those people earn their paycheck.
Mm-hmm. I'm even looking at Facebook comments of like the cast, and I'm just curious what they're saying. It looks like it's all mixed. It looks like Mila and Jack need to go. They all need to walk the plank except for Anastasia, Joao, and Colin. Maybe Sandy. The rest can take a hike. Anastasia's wearing a chef's jacket. In that picture, she is. Hopefully, somebody who also knows how to cook and not just open cans. I think they're referring to this episode. I cook and I open cans at home too. So I mean, it's just.
He's a good cook. He really is a good chef.
Yeah, I would say the best thing I've ever made it's a lamb curry. It came from an out-of-print 1970s Caribbean cookbook from Time Life. And
wow.
It's traditionally a Jamaican dish meant to have goat meat in there instead, but in America I have to get lamb meat instead as an alternative, and came out fantastic, and I decided to be creative and add rice, garbanzo beans, maybe a little bit of pepper in there too, and blend it all together, and it's just incredible.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I can eat that for days.
Yeah.
And it smells incredible in my kitchen when I make that. It's just like homemade curry and the lamb is always like very tender and just incredible.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of it.
Yeah, and I've tasted your cooking. His cooking is amazing.
Yes.
Maybe we should do a cooking show, and we'll call it Ryan's Cooking.
You get to see how messy I am too as a cook, because my countertop and my floor can get pretty messy.
Hey, all that matters is how it comes out at the end.
Yeah, I'm like Swedish Chef with how messy I can be.
Swedish Chef! I don't even remember what he does. I just remember he's really funny. Oh, is that what?
You know, with the hands and the mustache. Well, you can't see his eyes, but he's got the hat and the mustache.
He's got the chef hat on. Doesn't he have a big nose or something?
Yes.
Okay, I think I know who the Swedish Chef is now.
Yes.
Seated. Gentle adjustment. I'm like, yes, that's the Swedish Chef, yes.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's a great character.
Yeah. So there's a hot tub made for two, and all four people are in it. And Alec Baldwin is kind of hunched out of it, and they all look like they're too many people in one spot. It kind of looks like a clown car where you have all those clowns in one car, and then they all walk out. One thing I would suggest, man, if they could get a bigger hot tub, I don't understand why you'd have a 153-foot yacht and have a hot tub only for two. I think a hot tub should always be, I mean, I get it, it has to recirculate the water and everything, but I think a hot tub on a yacht should have at least room enough for 5 people. 5 minimum.
Yeah, maybe more.
Maybe more, yeah. And I feel like there has been one on the Caribbean, but on this one, I don't think that they had one that was meant for more than 2 people.
Catsup.
We can do catsup. We can go back to the 50s if you like.
I just don't want to have to end up paying Heinz 57 for any rights.
Oh, we do? Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah, I think technically they own the rights to their name of ketchup.
Well, I mean, you could say tissue. You could be like Kleenex tissue. Hand me a Kleenex.
You can't, well, I mean, technically it's a tissue. You just can't say Kleenex. It's like Band-Aid. It's a band.
Boy, marketing has come a long way here because people used to say, hand me a tissue, and whatever they did, the Kleenex company got everybody to call them Kleenexes now.
Cold and flu season is coming.
Yeah, it is. So the other thing that came out was when Mulvaney said, we're going to do things a little bit differently than the Obama administration. The Obamas kept it within government rules and regulations, and now there will be foreign influence in elections from now on. Lost their mind. Have somebody say that it's the normal course of business to have other countries interfere with our election so that Donald Trump can be reelected. That doesn't seem cool. Even if I was a Trump supporter, be like, hey, fair is fair, right?
I was getting an erection, but it just didn't work out. Don't eat that.
I asked Beth to help me on my diet, and every time I put a sandwich up to my face, she shouts, don't eat that, and it reminds me to not eat it. So far, it works out pretty well, but it's most effective when she slaps the sandwich out of my hand.
Gone through quite a few sandwiches.
One of the things that I wanted to talk about is politics here. Get it out of the way, because the thing that
You love the most.
no, it's not.
Is it me?
You're the thing that I love the most.
You're full of shit.
So one thing about politics that I find interesting is that it changes rapidly, and we're in a place now where you can do anything and say anything. It's like basically it's like Monday Night Wrestling, because there are no rules anymore, and it's just people shouting at each other, and the person that shouts loudest wins.
Yay! Does that mean I win?
So
How do you feel about that? Does that make you mad?
Makes me mad. I'm mad.
I mean, do you really think that there's no repercussions for anything that people say?
I think so. I think that's where we're at right now. I think Trump backpedals on a couple things which we haven't seen, and or taking troops out of Syria is bad, but then it's it's not as bad what Joe Biden is doing. Joe Biden's kid is up to in the Ukraine.
Well, he admitted that that was a mistake.
Then there's turmoil, and when they told me that Mike Pence was going to go in and broker a deal.
Broker a deal with what?
Oh, he was going to broker a ceasefire.
Oh, and how did that work out? Did they cease fire?
No, I don't think they did. But it was interesting because the headline was Mike Pence is going to ease tensions. Where did you go?
To watch the dog.
Oh, this is weird. I don't see you anywhere, but I can hear you clearly, like you're right next to me. Very strange. So let's jump into movies here. Into movies here. So we saw something that was trending on Netflix called In the Tall Grass.
We'll come back to that. Do you think they sent Mike Pence to Turkey because... Why do you think they sent Pence to Turkey? Do you think it's because he knows what's really going on, and he's really running things, and Trump is just kind of left and forth to do his own thing?
I see.
Kind of like the Bush and Cheney thing.
Kind of like, and also how they called Obama a puppet.
I can navigate the social order of this new world, this new internet world.
Can you?
You know, I'm not gonna be defeated, man.
Yeah.
Can't nobody tell me nothing around here no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Can't nobody insult me on the internet and ruin my day. You know, I'm usually like, I'm just too easygoing, man. I haggled the price at the mall about a phone case that I bought. You see my new phone case?
Yeah, okay. And did it work?
Yeah.
They brought it down a little bit?
Yeah, he was trying to sell me this phone case for $25.
Yeah.
And I got it from him for $15.
Okay.
And I felt so bad about it.
Why?
Because, I mean, you know, like, if you get a good deal, that means he made less money.
So Summer House is interesting because how do you even get started on a show like this? How do you convince them to ruin their vacation
to fight with each other?
They must be needing funds because you're going to go on vacation. It's your one vacation out of the year, probably in their lifestyle, and Bravo's going to convince you. Some producer from Bravo is going to convince you to give up your privacy to be on some reality show. It's cool for our entertainment. It's cool, and it is kind of like a documentary.
Let me tell you how you get into Summer House. Sure. You get home from work on Monday night and you pour up some rosé.
Jose.
That's literally all they do. It's surprising that we made this episode about Summer House and we literally didn't mention rosé once.
If you watch the show, you could actually have a drinking game out of them saying the name rosé or Lauren saying the name Carl. You'll be drunk off your ass right away.
If anybody says rosé, take a sip of rosé. Anybody says Carl, take a sip of some Carl, some hot Carl. Go.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Nuts.
It's so funny though. They're always talking about rosé, and they literally have this like bottle of rosé that is the size of like about a 4-year-old.
Jeez.
And they're always walking around with it. They're putting it on their shoulder or taking it out of the room and storming out of the room with this 3-foot bottle of rosé in their arm.
Yeah.
I'm taking my rosé and I'm leaving.
Was that Carl? Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh,
that was a weird clip. They should put like a rope there so you know who won.
Yeah, right.
Whoever has the rope at the end has won. Trying to drive the thought home that this show kind of let your mind become somewhere else. You're not thinking about bills. You're not thinking about other people. Like, you're not trying to see who you're going to land a deal, like a date with. I think that's the purpose of reality shows. You kind of escape your dull life and enjoy somebody else's exciting life.
Right.
That's interesting. It sounds like you're not surprised very often, but you were surprised by the fact that Vice President Dick Cheney had so much power and so much influence. It really was a shocking thing.
Well, according to that movie Vice, if you believe everything that's in it.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot to add that part.
Anyways, we saw the movie In the Tall Grass. It's one of these Netflix horror movies based on a Stephen King novel.
Oh, Stephen King.
The interesting thing that we've been watching a lot of horror movies. I think the most interesting thing that we have discovered is that corn is really, really scary.
That's right. The desolation, the wonderment, the confusion when you can't get out of the corn.
The height of the corn. Have you ever been trapped in a cornfield?
I've been trapped in a maze, but it was a maze out at the Arboretum.
So was it a maze for fun?
It was a maze for fun.
Were you amazed?
It was amazing, you might say.
Apparently being stuck in the corn, it is quite dangerous because you can get lost quite easily, from what I've heard from farm children of the corn.
Children of the farm.
Again, there's another movie about corn that's a horror movie. Why is corn so scary?
Well, I think you'd have to be on a farm on a summer night in the dark, looking out onto the cornfield. It probably just comes to mind that it's isolated and it's a perfect area for a murder.
I don't know. I thought it was the pesticides and the genetically modified corn that was the terrifying part.
Here's another thing I'll say, a revolution about myself right now, is I've always gone on the... What did you say?
Nothing.
Talk about what?
Always got to talk about yourself.
I was under the impression that cops were 90%
white.
Whoa! Pretty much. I was under the impression that cops were 90% honest. 10% was like 1 out of 10 that was a dishonest cop.
Why would you ever think that cops... I mean, cops are... Well, I mean, I feel like I probably shouldn't say that because I don't want to get arrested. But, I mean, any position of authority, I feel like, has a certain amount of corruption.
Oh. It's possible. But one of the things I did is I put a show on called... Is it called Confessions?
Confession tapes.
The Confession tapes, yeah. Just as I said it, I was like, that's what it is. That's right. That's good. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of those people, I still think they're guilty.
Yeah, especially the first
guilty.
one where the first episode of the Confession tapes, they have 2 teenagers who are convicted of a murder, and they're convicted on a confession tape. They were showing off saying that they did it. when we're not sure if we're not so sure that they did it. It was just they were kind of put in a position where they were in a hotel room with the Canadian CIA equivalent to us in America here, and the so-called thug was trying to rouse up. It was a strange way to have someone admit to something, but they were trying to get these two young teenagers to admit to something they didn't do by saying, I have to know everything that happened. Tell me everything about this murder. And the two boys that were involved in it would go ahead and they'd like show off and be like, oh yeah, we did it, blah blah blah.
Well, I think the first thing that's important is that you have to believe there's such a thing as a false confession in order for you to kind of buy into these stories.
Sure.
And I would say that, yeah, in some cases there may be a possibility that people could fall.
Say that last sentence one more time.
I think there's a possibility that some people could falsely confess.
Yes.
Because, you're trapped in a hot room with no windows. You don't know what time it is. They probably don't feed you, is what it appears from these tapes. And, they just ask you the same questions over and over again. And I remember reading an article about memories and how, I think it's 70 to 80% of whatever you remember is false.
I've heard you say that, and I was wondering where you got that information, but I do remember that when I recounted a story from my days in the military with my friend Chris, he said it didn't happen like that. Say that one more time.
Is that because he was on the CBD oil, or?
Consistently, I've been out of the military for almost 15 years now, and I feel like
It's like flickering.
I've been out of the military for about 15 years now, and I feel like I have some amazing, really exciting memories. I feel like I've accomplished a lot, and I used to volunteer all the time and help people out. Now it's all about me, because I'm a millennial again.
That's what I thought.
Used to be a hero.
Do you want me to finish that?
So,
It's okay, baby. You're still my hero.
thank you, baby. Appreciate that. Oh, are we girlfriend and boyfriend out here?
I don't know, are we? We cannot be.
No, I'm just saying, like,
I don't know. I didn't really think it through.
I didn't think about it at all either.
I mean,
Would that ruin it? Would that be like listening to a couple? Is it different if there's two co-hosts that are doing it for the show? We're all about the show, keeping the show alive. Or if the two co-hosts are a couple and you're kind of listening to a couple talk about drapery in an elevator.
well, it depends on the drapery that they're talking about, I guess. But
Tune into podcast number 2 where we have
discussions
drapery.
about draperies. Cue the cheesy music.
Are flowers still in? Yes or hell no?
Hell no. I don't know. I think it's going to be really hard to hide it for us. Because, like, if we do start recording something in the car,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, why are you two co-hosts driving in a car? What were they doing? Going to get lunch? Why are they on a 6-hour road trip?
Yeah.
Why is there so much sexual tension between the two?
And let us not forget our main goal of this podcast is once we hit about. That's
Mhm.
right. That's what would make it interesting. That's what would make it cool is if they don't think that we've been sexually, we've been sexually whatever. And then back to my goal. Remember, our main goal is making it onto David Spade's show before it goes off the air.
Can we have a higher goal than that?
We have made it. We've made it to Los Angeles into the David Spade studio, and he has asked us to give stand-up comedy a fast 5.
I mean,
a tight 5.
and that's like banking a lot on, David Spade's show actually making it. I really do like the show. I think
Me
it's kind
too.
of funny.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got the chutzpah.
It took some oomph for Beth to be interested enough to watch it, but the fact of the matter is, David Spade knows a lot of people, and his guests really carry the show. It's not David Spade's stand-up that makes it happen. It's not the in-between little bits that they do. It is 100% how they took what's that called? Just for Laughs?
I don't know. I haven't seen
What
it.
was Byron Allen's show where they were sitting in chairs, and it was. I wish I knew. I watched it. for
Gosh,
years.
that sounds like a funny show. Sitting in chairs.
So David Spade took
That might not
late
be a
night
bad podcast name. Sitting in chairs.
sitting in chairs. How about like the naked podcasters? I don't know. I mean, it's got to be something where people are like, huh?
Sitting naked in chairs.
That's why I'm thinking calling it the What the Fuck podcast would be cool.
There's got to be a What
But
the
you
Fuck
can't-
podcast.
Can't broadcast the F word, so we'd have to put a little asterisk where the U is.
We are not using FCC rules because we are on the internet.
The FCC won't let me be. You'll let me be free. I just want to see how my rap sounds on here. How does it sound, darling?
It sounds like you're as white as the day is. As white
They
as a
call me White
purple cloud
Rabbit.
in the
I
sky.
live in a hole. Every single day, I eat like a mole. So one anomaly that Beth discovered today is every time we say the ghost's name, the computer acts up, and the common apps don't work on her computer. She did a common math computation, and it came up with some weird alien lingo.
Yeah, so I don't think it was a ghost. I think it's the aliens they're trying to communicate. Maybe it is the ghost.
It's fucking the ghost, or nobody will listen to the podcast.
Well, why wouldn't they listen to the podcast if it's aliens? Both of us love
Um,
aliens, and ghosts, so you can hear a lot about ghosts and aliens in future podcasts. I feel like we should just devote several podcasts to each of the subject matters.
Oh, I hear you. So, I'm so glad we're podcasting, by the way, because one of the things that I told Mo, and who was my previous podcast partner here, and I told Ryan, was that, we all go through times of sadness, and nothing's more important than being able to laugh. You just have to laugh, and laugh at myself. Yesterday was kind of a funky day. I was just in a weird mood. Today I woke up, I saw the sun, and my mood was 1,000% better. And I'm like, we have to do the podcast. We can't wait anymore.
Yeah, it's a nice day outside, so what is a great way to spend a beautiful, sunny, warm day, but indoors?
This podcast has been brought to you by Lawrence Hurstel Real Estate, Edina Realty. My managing broker is Mike Jorgensen. The address of the real estate agency is 1515 London in Duluth, Minnesota. So if you want to come stop by, I'm in the office only about 24 hours a day. So come on and see me 7 days a week. Back to Beth. Beth is going to wrap up sports for us. Beth, what did the Vikings do today?
I'm not sure. I don't really follow football because it's a capitalistic sport, and
Whoa.
I'm not really interested.
Beth is a communist. She comes to us from the country of Romania.
Romania. I don't think Romania is communist.
When others had
communist.
pictures,
Communist.
people had pictures of Superman and Spider-Man on their wall. Beth had a photograph of Stalin.
Stalin
Naked.
was cool before his wife died.
Was he? Oh, that's when he went nuts?
I think it was. Maybe he was nuts to begin with.
Yeah.
I think if my history memory is correct, but I don't remember.
Beth,
And I am not a communist.
I will not do that. I'm clowning around, but Beth is not a communist.
I think we might have to erase all of the communist talk.
Are we going to call this podcast a 15-minute quick? Are we going to call this podcast a 15-minute quick catch up?
15-minute quickie.
Oh, how about that? 15-minute quickie. And plus, that'll make it so that unsuspecting people will click on it from fucking Pornhub, and they'll be like, oh, 15-minute quickie. Okay, and they'll click on it, and they'll be like, oh, a podcast. And they'll be like, oh, man, well, they were so interesting.
Bravo TV planted Mila, and it's like a huge scandal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure what the outcome will be with Mila going forward, whether or not she's going to be demoted or be removed. I'm not really sure what's going to happen going forward with her. And now they're making a dish that didn't really interest me that much because the fish, I'm not sure what it is, but the fish looked very raw on the dish, and that is something I would not eat because I don't trust raw seafood.
Well, what was on there was tuna fish.
Tuna fish, yeah.
So So the tuna fish was raw, and it's usually prepared that way. And that's just how they do it, in delicacy and restaurants where like steakhouses here in Chicago. That tuna fish is sometimes raw, and it's okay. There's no laws broken for that. It's just you just gotta trust that there's nothing weird about it.
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes buy tuna steaks at the grocery store at Trader Joe's, especially, and usually you have to cook them. You can't just defrost them and just eat them.
Really? Okay. I should double check that. Don't be eating raw tuna, folks, until you know for sure. Talk to a real chef, a Michelin-rated chef. I thought that you could eat tuna raw. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you could probably get by on a yacht by these types of chefs, but grocery store food, I always cook everything. So canned tuna is always fully cooked, so that's usually how I like my tuna.
Yeah. So we're at the episode now. If you remember, this is from the week before this last one, where the vibrator women are on, and they're passing it around the dinner table. They got this thing, and it's just kind of like a thing that should be, maybe people think it should stay in the bedroom. And then they take them off the table, and then they plate their tuna, and the main guests, or Jennifer, is like, oh my God, that looks really good. It's pineapple. It looks like some spinach, maybe. I could be wrong.
I think it was spinach and maybe one more thing in there.
Yeah.
Mixed with it. It looks like, spinach and spinach.
Spinach and spinach. Spinach and tuna. Definitely tuna.
Yeah.
You see that? And then there's
a little bit of red cabbage, I think.
Red cabbage.
Or red onion. One or the other.
Yeah.
I usually don't buy either because I'm not, but yeah, I think it's red onion because it's really tiny.
So, Captain Sandy comes in, and she comes into the galley where Mila is and says, well, I have to taste this. And she tastes it, and she says, okay. And then she walks away, so we don't know if Captain Sandy even liked it. Mila looks stressed out right now. I'm sure she wishes she would have made friends with the crew rather than making comments that really make everyone mad. Because even I would be upset by that. Like if you're making comments about a particular group and you're just broad brushing them as they're all this way, then I could understand the anger. Especially from Travis. Travis was like, man, his exact words were that Mila is a waste of oxygen. Or oxygen thief.
So it sounds like the whole cast is not really a big fan of Mila.
Yeah, and she didn't make friends. She didn't try to make friends. She's from a rough place, and she's mentioned 3 times that she's from Siberia. So it's not an easy place. I get it. There's only a few countries left where homosexuality is not legal, but she's working with an American and an Australian crew, and she needs to leave those comments at home. Even if she feels that way, if it's her opinion, she should be smart enough to not make those kind of comments. Her comments were that it's wrong for a man and another man to kiss, and that really set Travis and a couple other people off. So the other thing we have here, getting back to the culinary part of this, is they're making steaks here, and one of the things that they have is Mila has help now, so she has a great amount of assistance in cooking the product. Mila is trained in plating items from Le Cordon Bleu. She's not trained in cooking items, as we witnessed.
Yeah, the steaks look pretty good.
So
they look like burgers at first.
They look like burgers, yeah. And then they put some kind of drizzle on, like some kind of meaty gravy, and I thought that was pretty cool.
They keep serving stuff that I'm not a big fan of, like little red onions and asparagus, but because with asparagus I'll eat the tip and that's about it. I'm not a big fan of the stem part of the asparagus.
Yeah.
The mashed potatoes is good, but not put asparagus on it, but it's kind of funny how they're cooking stuff that I wouldn't eat, but even though I like food.
You wouldn't eat that? Oh, you just like
most
the
of it.
Okay.
I would eat everything but the stem of the
Oh, really?
asparagus.
So I think isn't that where most of the nutrients are? In the tip of in the stem of the asparagus?
I think it's in the whole thing, all over the whole thing, but usually I'm getting my vegetable nutrition from like broccoli and stuff instead, or Brussels sprouts.
Yeah. And that steak is rare.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that she says right here is, I think it's Jennifer, is a primary charter guest. She says that I've been to the finest steakhouses in all the world, and I would call this fine. And Captain Sandy says, oh, we can't have fine. We can't have the word that. I'm sorry. And Captain Sandy says, why me?
Yeah.
Why me? Which I don't blame her one bit.
Yeah. She's been through a lot with her life, but this is, when it's always a different stressful environment, it's hard to deal with that, even though she's had some like near-death experiences. Even just work stress can be its own thing.
Yeah.
A different type of stress, for sure.
I'll be right back.
All right. I did not realize we're live. I'm just going to read people's Facebook posts before he comes back.
All right, so we're into the final episode here that of the spot where we left off before. So let me check. Let me just make sure here that we're on the final episode, because I downloaded some stuff. Let me see. Yeah, we are. We're good. So what are some things you notice about the yacht here, Rye Guy?
It's a very nice yacht.
Yeah.
There's a lot of space to walk around. It's very well organized.
Yeah.
For the passengers, it's looks like, even despite all the stress between all the workers on the yacht, it always looks like the passenger or the customers or passengers, whatever we want to call them, they're going to have a good time regardless and not really necessarily see all the drama behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I try to put myself in the shoes of those people and just know that I would have a good time regardless of all the behind the scenes stress.
Exactly. That's the way I think about it too. It's just go on there, have a good time. After about a day or so, you'd forget the cameras are there. Just do your own thing. One of the complaints from the people that produce this show is that there's long periods of time where nothing happens. So if nothing is happening for like hours and hours, the producers of the show will encourage them to do something. And there have been times where the producers will say, "Hey, go over there, tell them what's going on, or tell them start a drama with her, or start a drama with him," you know.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in the galley doing dishes.
I get jealous when I see all those nice washing machines and dryers on mounted in the wall, and then like all the nice like appliances. It just makes me jealous. I wish I could have that at home.
Even on the yacht, like even though they're a little bit compact.
Yeah. Like, as opposed to what I have at home, I have some like older Whirlpool brand like washer and dryer, which gets the job done, but it's not as nice as all the nice stuff on here.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know it's high class. These are multi-million-dollar yachts. One of my favorite scenes is at night here. We're looking at the night scene of Sirocco, and the boat has these lights that shine into the water. It looks so cool. It looks like some James Cameron thing where they're like launching a submarine in the water, but it's just kind of like for show. Like if people want to swim at night, they have these lights that cast into the water, and it's so serene, and it's like, that would be great. I think when they give them a discount to be on the show, it's cool, but the people, I think if I chartered a yacht and I spent $200,000 plus, I think I'd be doing things nonstop, and I'd be like, listen, I can sleep later. I don't need to go to bed. I'm going to party, have a good time, whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like the charter guests sleep a lot too, and they always sleep in. They're always like, oh, I want my breakfast at 6 a.m. And then they don't wake up till 10.
Yeah. That's me Saturday morning sometimes after a long work week.
Yeah.
Because especially after 4th of July, my feet were just, I was feeling it after being on my feet. Oh, like, and just having a blast, just running around in somebody's yard, just having a good time. And
yeah.
I was like, I'm going to sleep good tonight with how exhausted my feet are.
I saw those pictures. You posted some good pictures on Instagram.
Yep.
Dogs having a good time. That was cool.
Yeah, I was playing this game called Can Jam, where you're throwing a frisbee back and forth to each other, but you have to have your partner, like, alley-oop it back in to get a certain amount of points, or they have to hit it and hit the side of the barrel to get, like, a point.
Right.
So I was making some, like, vintage 1989 Dennis Rodman, like, stunts and just, like, jumping to get it, and it paid off a few times.
That's good. It's called Can Jam?
Can Jam.
Can Jam.
And when I first heard it, I thought, oh, my friends are bringing, like, mason jar homemade jam.
Right.
Which sounds good. I want to do that.
Hell yeah. Maybe we'll do that next time. Next time you come hang out, we'll do it. Or when I visit you where you're at.
Yeah. Otherwise, we were playing bags and I was kicking people's butt.
That's what I heard. That's the word on the street. Tell me what happened with that.
Oh, that looks good, that platter.
What was that?
That fruit and veggie platter.
Yeah.
I think veggie. It looked like
sausage, bacon, scrambled eggs.
Yeah. So this is the part that's inspiring me to cook, is because I have all these recipes.
I'll tell you what, you have full permission to be my personal yacht chef as soon as I acquire the yacht. How does that sound?
That sounds good. Got yourself a deal.
Yeah. All right. So I was premature when I said that she moved the stuff because it didn't happen until a little bit later on. But this episode right here is where they're making pancakes, and Hannah is starting to really lose it. She hits the level where it's like, we can't do this anymore. She's making Aunt Jemima pancakes, and when you're a chef on a yacht, you should be able to make your own batter. That's just a given.
Mm-hmm. I make my own batter at home too, and I'm watching what's in their skillet, and I think I do a much better job than them.
Yeah.
I make homemade, like, banana protein pancakes, and it's way more depth.
Do you cut the bananas into the pancake?
I mash them.
Okay. I was gonna say, because I'm trying to imagine it like chocolate chips, but when you make the banana pancakes, you mash them up and then they go right into the batter.
Yeah, they go in a batter. I have like a mixer, like KitchenAid mixer, and just blend it all, and then I'll see it. Now I see the Jemima.
Aunt Jemima.
Maple syrup, and now I'm thinking of that dream I had.
Tell me about your dream one more time. What happened with your dream?
Well, I dreamed in real life I bought the pure maple syrup, but then I dreamed that I bought that instead. And I'm like, I didn't buy Aunt Jemima brand. Now I gotta have all the not so good ingredients.
Oh, man.
I just prefer pure maple syrup.
Yeah. Maple syrup, you gotta be really scrutinizing it, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta get the good stuff. You can't just get like the Bisquick syrup, whatever it's called. You gotta go for the good stuff.
Yeah, that's what I like at least.